Right, hello my friends, we're back and we're talking scams. From tampering with bank details to impersonation attempts.
This is disgraceful. And like Amy's just then, scams are getting smarter and smarter, so we'll be discussing the very real threat they pose and how you can stay alert to things like purchase scams, invoice fraud, impersonation, and how you can keep your business secure. To help us along, we have Nick Hawe, an online fraud specialist at Get Safe Online. With 30 years in North Wales Police investigating organised fraud, Nick brings frontline experience and a deep understanding of how scams are actually executed. Welcome, Nick. Thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
In this episode, we'll be seeing if you can spot the common red flags and a few different types of fraud businesses are often targeted with.
I reckon I've got that.
You reckon?
I'm going to have some help, though, yes?
Definitely.
OK.
Ooh.
That looks stunning.
Have a look at
Get
this.
your hands off my Sony.
So, the challenge is I'm going to tell you a little bit around the cheese toasty. This right here is a single origin sourdough toasty. It's layered with rare Alpine cheeses, matured 36 months and toasted to golden perfection. And it's only 50p. So this is a representation of purchase scam.
So purchase scams are scammers online who are looking to sell you items that are either rare or sought after, but actually might not exist at all or might be fake. However, the issue comes where, you know, if you're looking at businesses and thinking about purchase scams, businesses are going to look to buy software, hardware, objects, machinery. And if that sort of machinery or object is rare or sought after, that's when the scammers come in. What you need to look out for, that seems very cheap for the description of what it's given. Not to say all scammers will reduce the price might look correct. Then you need to start looking at, OK, I've seen a photograph of it, I'll have a look at the person who's selling it, because the person who's selling it might be new to whatever platform you're looking at it on. Go a bit further than just look at what looks to be a very attractive offer. If something looks too good to be true, like this possibly does, then quite often it is as well.
So I think my qualms with this toasty in particular, perceived value, right, I think, of whatever you're buying as a business, that's a red flag. If it feels a bit too good to be true, it normally is. Second, if there's maybe not so much like trusted reviews or like a lack of history of selling and whatever, and also looking at where you're buying, right, where you're doing business. Are you doing it on kind of an untested platform? Maybe that should be a place you should be watching out for.
But another red flag is being asked to take the purchase away from that platform, so that the seller might say, I can pass on a discount to you, we won't have to pay the fees for this site, and it appears even better value then. But
so
you're
it
losing.
Could be a backdoor toasty.
Absolutely. Not that I've ever heard of a backdoor toasty.
It's cake!
A sweet toasty.
That's incredible. It still looks like it.
So cheesecake?
Honestly.
I like what you did there.
Good stuff. Very good stuff. All right, number 2. This is looking maybe a little bit less edible. That's not cake. That is not cake.
No, that's definitely paper. So within there, Will, is an invoice. So the reason that challenge number 2 is an invoice is due to the fact there's a number of invoice frauds that happen for small businesses.
Invoice fraud is where an invoice has been intercepted by a scammer and possibly details changed within that invoice. More often than not, payment details.
Right.
So it might come in like this, and it might look perfectly legitimate with all the right logos, maybe the right amounts, possibly increased amounts, but you've got on there overdue, imparting some kind of urgency to this payment. Equally, you need to check things like email addresses. They may look correct, but there may be a slight amendment, so maybe a 1 instead of an L or something like that. To make it look genuine.
So you said they intercept them. How do they manage to do that? How does that work?
You'll be aware of the term hacking.
Yeah.
So companies' infrastructures, their IT, can be hacked. And if that happens, then you can imagine the scammer is into the IT, they're seeing all the emails, they're seeing all the transactions, they know when something's due, and therefore it comes at the right time, it comes when you're expecting such an invoice. And the whole thing cobbled together with that, you know, trying to get you to pay quickly and things like that. But it's really important to verify any change of bank details because that's the biggest red flag.
That one's really scary because especially if you're saying like the timing lines up, it all looks... That one I could see easily fall into that one.
I've seen it happen, and I've been to businesses who exactly that sort of thing has happened to. And it's very quick. It takes very little effort from the scammer. You know, it's not like old-fashioned crimes where people need to be either face-to-face or turn up to do something. Rather than acting quickly, we need to take a little bit of time and run some checks. So
if we're doing red flags again here, what I'm looking at is definitely the urgency. I think usually, you know, you're not really seeing that on a normal invoice.
Yeah.
If, say, I go to pay and it looks like, oh, I'm adding new payment details, that's probably where I'm thinking maybe slow down and ask. And just checking all of the contact details are the ones I've been using. And if I've got any of those red flags.
It might be worth putting in place, depending on the size of the business, having dual authentication. So one person, you know, authorising, one person checking, so that there's that coverage there. And maybe some training for staff, annual training and refreshers.
All right, time to put that away. Because, Nick, we actually have to interrupt this with a little bit of a challenge for you.
Quick pause, because growth is great, but so is keeping your money. Through Digital Wings, we provide fraud and scam protection modules designed specifically for businesses like yours. Our Barclays Business Fraud Hub is also a great way of learning how fraudsters try and target your business. And if you'd like more, we offer one-to-one fraud awareness sessions for businesses to talk with our Barclays fraud experts, bookable through your Barclays business contact. Anyway, back to it.
So welcome to Bittersweet, right? As you can tell by the name, we've got two options in here. One of them's bitter, one of them is sweet. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to pick one, and depending on which one you get, we'll ask you to share an anecdote with us about fraud.
OK.
All good?
Yeah. The trick would be to put the furthest one as the bitter one.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's not.
What
that's not
that
positive.
That's not.
Yeah, bad no.
Yeah, they're probably not the sweetest thing, so maybe bitter.
Yeah, we'll confirm.
When I was a police officer in North Wales, I dealt with a company, and the head of that company, who was having a really, really busy day. He was very IT conscious, very good, but this day was a really, really busy day in the office. So he's on the phone, he's typing a large report. All the other phones are going in the office. Someone's binging on the bell at the counter. Everyone else is busy. And as he's doing this, up comes a little notification for an email, and he notices it says Invoice. So he opens the email, and when I spoke to him, he said, I knew from the moment I pressed the second click, but it was too late. And 2 weeks later is when he rang the police, because that morning they switched the computer on, and you don't get your normal welcome screen, you get a ransom demand for tens of thousands of pounds.
Just definitely the bitter one there, then.
Yeah. It was a bit bitter.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to take a risk on the second one. All right, number 3, we've got a phone. We've got a phone and a voice note to play.
Hi, this is Ian from the bank's fraud team. We've detected a suspicious payment from your business account. Please call me back on 07462 19203 or verify your details at banksecurecheck.co.uk within the next 30 seconds to stop the transaction processing. Thank you.
I do not trust Ian.
So, Will, this is an example of an impersonation scam.
I see.
So there were a few things in there that was highlighted that would make you question, is that really my bank? But let's let Nick, the expert, explain a little bit more around what is an impersonation scam.
Yeah, an impersonation scam is you being contacted by someone who you've got a relationship with, a trust, so a colleague, a customer, a client, can be a friend. But what they're trying to do at that point is to manipulate you into passing over some bank details or maybe making a payment or something like that. As with the example given there, they were ringing and giving you a number to ring, telling you to go to this website or, you know, giving you 30 minutes or 30 seconds or whatever it was to do it. So another red flag there about imparting some kind of urgency to it. It's always good to verify if any payments are being requested. As we were talking about before, take a deep breath, take a step back from it and do your own checks to verify what's going on.
I've had it happen to a couple of friends before when they were running their business and they were saying they just couldn't believe quite how emotionally manipulative they were.
Well, it is. It's social engineering, and we want to be on the right side of things. We want to do the correct things, certainly within businesses. but no bank, no legitimate organisation will try and pressure you, and they won't be asking for details over the phone if that was to be the case either.
Yeah, so we're thinking red flags on this.
Yeah.
I'm thinking probably the way I've been reached out to. I'm thinking, like, usually if someone's ringing or, you know, saying, oh, this is a suspicious payment, they're putting a little bit of pressure on, something's already gone wrong. Not loving that. Again, as we've mentioned a bunch of times, the urgency. It's the details as well. It's like the asking for the details there and then, not for you to go on where you've already been and put them in there. It's kind of like, you're never asked for the details, are you?
He's giving you there a web address saying, you know, go to www.whatever it is. That is, you know, whatever that website is, it's probably compromised. Or dial 159, which will take you to your own bank's Centre for Fraud Awareness, and that'll help to verify and reassure you that everything is above board.
Amazing. Thank you. Honestly, Nick, you've been dead interested to chat to. Now, one thing we do on every episode of Working Lunch is we ask our guests to leave a tip. So could you possibly let us know your one best bit of advice for, say, any businesses looking to stay vigilant and stay alert for when it comes to fraud and scam? Your business,
I mean, your business premises might be your home address, it might be a premises on a you know, industrial unit, whatever it is, but you'll probably have a lock on there and all sorts of security like alarms, CCTV, whatever it might be. Treat your IT and all of that kind of property exactly the same. So make sure it's secure, make sure your passwords are strong and secure, changed regularly. Make sure all your software's updated, so any patches where the software needs to be updated with any vulnerabilities, make backups of you know, important data just in case, and ensure that your staff are trained. That will prevent or make it very difficult for the cyber criminal.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. That is all from us, my friends. If you'd like to know more about the topics we've been discussing, please head to the Barclays website or hit subscribe. And we will see you very soon on another episode of Working Lunch. Bye-bye.